George and Jessica had been the ones knocking on Attica's door. They're asking whether Battler and Maria had come to this room. Of course they hadn't.
ずいぶん前に下に飲み物を取りに行くと言って降りたきり戻らない。ひょっとしてエリカちゃんの部屋に来てるかなと思ってね。
Okay. Okay. So Battler and Maria left, right? We know the fate of Maria. She ends up in the mansion in some way, shape, or form with Rosa. Well, we don't know where Rosa is. We don't know where Maria is. They said she, like, disappeared in a splash of golden butterflies, right? So her corpse isn't actually in the parlor with Rosa, right? But for the the story of the magic side, where, like, Maria as a witch sensed her mother's death and showed up and there was the fight, sure. But for her body to be, in a totally different location would make sense. She was killed elsewhere and actually had nothing to do with, Rosa's subsequent death. Would make sense.
来るわけないです。屋敷にでも行ったんじゃないですか？
屋敷の使用人室や食堂に電話してるんだけど、誰も出なくて。
あなたたちはここにいてください。私はちょっと屋敷の様子を見てきます。
危ないよ、こんな時間に。
この閉鎖された島にいとこ部屋とやらにいてください。何かあったら連絡しますから。ゲストハウスの使用人室の人たちにもゲストハウスを出ないように。では。
ちょっとエリカさん。
And who's all in the guest house, right? Isn't it Jessica, George, and then Shannon and Canon? Or is, Goda in the gang here too? Because, Genji's in the mansion, I'm pretty sure. After speaking her mind and not listening to anything else, Attica dashed down the stairs and rushed outside.
第一の晩は夜が明けてから発覚がパターンでした。ゲストハウスで事件が起きているとなると、惨劇の舞台は屋敷ってことになりますね。
When she had an umbrella up, Attica got drenched as she sprinted. She basically licked the raindrops that dripped down her face. Attica was at her most energetic. According to her memory from the previous game, the entrance hall to the mansion would be locked after the start of the family conference. However, the lock was undone this time. Had someone unlocked it, or had the lock not been set? Or had it not been possible to set the lock?
まあ、考えたそんなのゲームマスターの気まぐれかもしれませんから。
So I just want to stop and think about it. We don't know where Ava's body is, because the fight was in the courtyard, but then Gop shows up and George is like, take Mother's body somewhere. It's like, yeah, I can do. And then Kyrie's body is in one of the guest rooms. Rosa's body's in the parlor. We don't know where Maria's body is. Okay. And Nazi's body is in her room. And then number 6. Whoever number 6 is. What if number 6 was Battler himself? I doubt it, but it's possible. Now that Battler's no longer playing the part of detective, it's possible. What if Battler himself is one of the victims, but he's not truly dead? Because they said that Battler and Maria left. As soon as she entered the entrance hall, the door to the parlor opened violently. Out of it flew Goda's large body. Okay, so Goda's here.
おや、こんばんは。何かございましたか？
警察、救急車を。
The expression really is wonderfully pathetic. Just perfect for the first one to discover the crime. Goda's still alive,
どうか
noted.
落ち着いてください。台風のことで。どうやって警察とどうせ電話は普通にされてるんですから、落ち着いてください。
Yells from Kraus and Rudolph's group could be heard from the parlor. Their shaken appearance perfectly signified the coming of the first twilight.
それでは死者と現場状況の再構築をお願いします。
Boy, so are all of them in the parlor?
小休止に出た人間が戻らないので、大人たちが客前へ行ったところ、扉が内から閉ざされて開かなかった。
扉は内から閉ざされ、そして窓も内側から施錠。
そういうことだ。外に回り、窓から客間内を見たところ、ローザがソファーに不自然な格好を。そこでガラスを割って客間に入り、他にマリアも壁際に血まみれで倒れているのを発見。
なるほど、それは大騒ぎですね。他の現場は？
エリカが屋敷に入った時、玄関が施錠されていなかったのは、この客間を外から確認するその直前までは施錠されていたため、他にも姿を消した人間たちが屋敷内のどこかで倒れている可能性があるとして、大人たちは今屋敷中を探し回っている。
Ava's the only one that's kind of
長
unaccounted
々
for.
と見せていただいたゲロカス妄想での犠牲者と死んだ場所は実際にも同じですか？
同じだ。
客間にはローザとマリア、それから夏日が自室で、キリエがクラウスの書斎、エヴァはバラ邸へ。いいえ、貴賓室に移動させたんで
Right,
したっ
right,
け？
right, 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 right. I do remember that. Because Gop asked George, like, is there anywhere in particular? And he's like, he wanted his mom to be placed in a place of honor, and just like the VIP room that no one ever got to use. Okay, okay. So like Rosa goes into the parlor, Maria finds her, and then whoever the murder happens to be takes them both out there, which when you factor in the fact that Badler left with Maria, you know, kinda cast some suspicion on someone. I'm guessing Kirie was like trying to dig up dirt on someone, ended up in Krause's study. Nah, not sure how they're gonna frame that one, but that's interesting. There's the whole situation of looking at the closed rooms themselves and trying to figure out like how did they do it. Like we already know with the parlor, it's like there's a hat rack jamming the door. How do you get out? Whoever killed him, how did they get out?
そうだ。エヴァの遺体は貴賓室で見つかる。
これで犠牲者5人、いや第一の6人目は誰でどこです？
Is it him?
旦那様、この部屋にもチェーンが。
切断しろい。犯人が隠れてるかもしれねえ。ゴード、やる。
Rudolph and Krause have brought Winchester from Kinzo's prize collection. Hideyoshi then, right? Because Hideyoshi's not with the group right now. Hideyoshi's not with the group right now. The elder Godo is carrying the wire cutters to cut the chain. The victims have been found one after another at several locations inside the mansion. Men who had lost their wives searched the mansion in a rage looking for the culprit. This was a guest room. It had previously been a room where the relatives would stay. Is it Badler? Is this like the one, this is the closed room, right? That we keep seeing like Badler in like this nightmare that he's in when he's like trapped in his head. Just from this little glimpse I'm seeing above the text box here, this is the room, right? And this is the one like he doesn't, like there's some issue with, and he has to try to like, it had previously been a room where the relatives would stay, but it hadn't been used much since the construction of the guest house. This forgotten room had been sealed from the inside by the chain. As soon as the chain was cut, Rudolph pushed Godo aside and flew into the room.
誰が嫌がる。出てきやがれ。ベッドに誰かいるぞ。兄貴、明かりを。
When Kraus pushed a switch on the wall, the guest room lit up, and the figure lying on the bed came into view. Badler. And that's why Rudolph's... Yup, it's Badler.
バトラ
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Okay, that things are making sense now. Okay. Mm-hmm.
お前どうしてこんなところに
Rudolph's knees crumpled, and he fell over Battler's corpse. No words can console him as he cried with a mad sorrow. In a single night, he had lost both his wife and his son. During this time, Kraus checked the window in the bathroom and searched the closet to find if anyone was hiding there. He found no one.
バトラーバトラーちくしょうあー
お気の毒です。
信じられんことだがこの部屋も密室だ。そうだ、キリエさんのいた私の書斎、ナツヒの自室、エヴァの貴賓室、ローザ親子の客間、そしてこのバトラ君の客室、すべてが密室ということではないか。わけがわからん。まさか自殺だとでも言うのか。そんなことあるもん。これが当時。あーバトラー
おや、これは意外でした。まさか6人目はあなた自身とは。
Mm-hmm. The one person who usually fucking survives to the end of all the games, right? But now he's the very first to go. But is he actually dead?
たまには自分殺しも面白いもんさ。
そして全ての現場は魔法以外では成し得ない殺人です。
それを暴くゲーム、すなわち魔法以外で成し得なければならないさ。だって本当に魔法でしかできなかったらそれってゲームが成立しませんから。
面白い考え方だな。なるほど。確かに俺たちのゲームはそういうゲームだ。
This game is fair. The goal is to explain without magic the strange crimes that are claimed to be caused with magic. If that couldn't be done, it wouldn't be a game. In other words, as Etika had said, they must be murders that could have been performed without magic. To turn it around, the witch side had a certain responsibility. They had to make a crime that could be reproduced with tricks and not magic. Unless the human side could see through to those tricks, the witch side could use all kinds of magic and illusions. In other words, in order to carry out a closed-room murder with magic, it was necessary to create a crime that would be possible by human hands.
今ならわかるわ。セールチーヤでムカつくクラスメートたちを殺せとどうして彼女らにそれができなかったか。
Mm-hmm. Because it wouldn't be possible.
そしてマモンが言った意味が、今魔法は自らの手で成し遂げられることしかできないということか。
At that time, if I had possessed the determination to kill my classmates, no, that's not it. At that time, if I had been capable of killing my classmates, capable of pulling it off, then the Seven Sisters of Purgatory would probably have pulled it off for me. They could only accomplish what I could do myself. No, that's not it either. They could take what I had accomplished and turn it into magic. However, because there had been a great number of witnesses in that classroom, it would have probably have been impossible. It would have been burned by that anti-magic toxin Marione-chan and the others always talk about. However, if I had called those classmates out somewhere without witnesses, if I had succeeded in murder, at that point the Seven Sisters of Purgatory would be capable of carrying out a magical murder.
魔女は魔法をもってしても自らにできないことをできない。自らにできることのみ魔法で装飾できる。面白きかな。魔法を使わずして成し遂げる者が魔法を語り魔女を名乗るのだから。このエリカとやらはそれをだから絶対に魔女に屈しない。絶対にトリックで説明できるという。かつてのバトラにはそれがなかったから これまでああも翻弄。このルールを見破られたら魔女に勝ち目はなくなるわ。だからそれを見破られる前に相手を屈服させなくちゃいけない。長引けば長引くほど、そしてヒントを与えれば与えるほど魔女は圧倒的に不利になっていく。
Once again, this reasoning keeps spinning around in circles. Why did Beato let this game get drawn out until she lost? Many victims have been found, and the mansion was still wrapped in chaos. Hideyoshi's group seemed to have gone to the guest house, worrying about the safety of the kids there. Karasu and Rudolph's group was in the hall, talking about what should be done next. During a short gap in this chaos, Attica dashed all about the mansion. She was checking the crime scenes. Normally, with the detective's authority, Attica had the right to openly investigate the crime scenes to her heart's content. However, this time, she hadn't yet made use of that authority. She was a guest, an outsider, so there was little to no chance that she would be allowed to investigate. So she was forced to quickly check all the crime scenes now, while she could still run about as she pleased. In the server room, there had been a clear folder containing a sketch of the mansion's interior. Because she had borrowed that, she knew the locations of all the rooms. Attica skillfully made her way through the mansion, dashing into each crime scene in turn.
エリカ卿、ご存知とは思いますが、
はい、何です？
エリカ卿は確かに写真並みの驚くべき。それは探偵権限と組み合わせることで何者にも欺かれぬものとなり得ました。
ああ、探偵宣言をしていない私は写真並みの記憶力を持っていてももちろん理解かといって現場を直接視認しないわけにはいきませんから。前回のゲームではそこに慢心し悔やみきれぬ失態を犯しましたから。
極論、今のエリカ卿はどれほど研修をしようと死んだふりを見破れない可能性が常に残る。全ての状況を個別に確定させるためにもバトラに復唱要求をする必要があるでしょう。
それを引き出すために青き真実分かってます。基礎を十分に。探偵権限などなくてもハンデにはかつてのバトラと同じ条件で戦っているだけなんですから。
Yes. This fight is retracing the old days when Battler and Beato fought so fiercely. I have nothing as convenient as the detective's authority. I just have to truly fight the same way the old Battler fought. Thinking of it this way, it may be true that I was given quite a favorable, unfair position last game, just as my master has said. It may be difficult without the detective's authority, which is also my pride and honor as a detective. But I won't let that be a handicap. I know what magic is, and I'm fully aware of how to fight with the red and blue truths. I know the way to fight in this game many times better than the old battler did. That is true. I quickly visited the VIP room, across the study, and Nazi's room on the second floor, as well as the parlor and the guest room on the first floor. This time checking with my own eyes, as I had failed to do in the last game. First off, all of the scenes were made to look like closed rooms. Probably of special note was the fact that the master keys could have had nothing to do with the trick. The closed rooms were all made without relying on any elements that could be locked or unlocked from the outside by a master key or something else. The windows were locked from the inside, and the doors were all locked and chained. The master key could get around all the locks on the doors, but not the window locks or the chain locks. I haven't yet had Battler confirm that it's impossible to manipulate those from the outside, but I'm sure he'll be able to say it in red. It'd be stupid otherwise.
分かってます。今の私はただの遺体の死亡確認さえ満足にできやしない。
Last time, I neglected to check the corpses and let a massive bit of magic get by me. I won't fail like that again. If I did, I won't be able to face the master I am so indebted to.
すべての現場を確認し、情報をご報告いたします。
お願いします。
まず、すべての部屋は窓の施錠と外部よりの干渉の困難な方法によって密室。唯一の例外はローザとマリアの死んでいた客間のみです。
金系帽子掛けが勘抜きにされていたものなり
実質的にチェーンロックと同様の内側のみより施錠可能と思われるものなりや、
マスターキーによる解釈を完全に封じた密室を構成する客間の性格上、チェーンロックがないため他の何かで代用することも自然です。 バトラが死んでいた客室は他にも数室あって、はいそうです。ならそこに閉じ込めれば全員チェーンロックの密室ということで、どうもこの客復讐要求でよく追求するべきでしょう。あと、遺体なんですが、前みたいに探偵権限がなくとも絶対の死亡を確認できるようなものはありましたか？
Of course, she had checked all the corpses and all the crime scenes this time. However, without the detective's authority, she had no guarantee that she'd be able to see through any fake deaths with certainty. The old battler had also started fighting by doubting whether the victims were truly dead. It was the same for Erika.
近景、絶対の死を物理的に確認できる遺体はないと知りたまえ。
There were no corpses that could have been confirmed dead with certainty by physical means.
近景、慎いずれの遺体も装飾された偽装死の可能性を否定できぬものなり。
まあ死亡確定の復讐要求をしたところでやれやれ。
私はベアとの時のでもマスターキーが一切通用しないという意味においては密室の完成度は今回の
バトラが狙ってくる密室破りは密室錯覚と事件錯覚、このどちらかね。
密室錯覚は一見密室に見えて実はそうじゃない。事件錯覚ってのは何？
I mean, it's the exact same thing, but replace closed room with crime. It looks like a crime, but it actually isn't. It looks like something transpired in there, but it's not what you think would transpire in there.
事件が起こったと錯覚することよ。つまり本当に死んでいるのかどうかということ。
何それ。いくら密室でも中の人が生きてたらそんなのただのトイレでおしっこしてるのと同じだわ。でも今回の密室殺人、ぶっちゃけそれが怪盗だとしか思えないのよね。
チェーンロックを外側から細工する無限の可能、隠し扉の有無、遠隔殺人の有無、あるいは自殺の数、そもそも密室が成立しているのかさえわからないという。
私はバトラのゲーム版裏から、これは完璧な密室よ。密室は内部からのみ構築され、外部からは構築も解除も干渉も一切できない。
それ赤で言える？
さすがにそれはバトラに悪いから遠慮するわ。
So, no, go fuck yourself.
ベルンが私を愛してるんだったら私の発言も赤き真実で見えるはずよ。
なら密室は完璧。つまりこれは事件錯覚ってこと。
そうなるわね。だとしたらこれは全部表現密室だ。大方エリカがあまりに空気読めずに後ろ宮家みんなで結託して表現殺人を披露してからこってみたってことじゃ。あら、これ正解。私ってば超名探偵。
それが困ったことに犠牲者はきっちり殺された。探偵宣言を出してこそいないけど、私が赤き真実を与えられるくらいにね。
それでエリカの検視時に間違いなく死亡してたってことになるの？
ええ、そうよ。それはもうがっつりと。
でも赤き真実では言ってあげて。エリカ
Oh,
は
of
その
course
赤
not.
が
No, no, she
喉から
needs to
手
see
が出
Erika
るほど
pop
欲しい
off
だろうに。
after Erika failed so miserably last time.
だ
Bitch
って
don't get
今
no
回の
hits.
あいつ探偵赤き真実なんてあげないわ。
しかしとなるとすぐバトラの今回のこれ完璧な密室殺人だわ。
あら、そうなるわ。
エリカ大丈夫？一見普通の密室殺人だけど地味にかなりヤバい探偵権限さえないエリカにはちょっと荷が重い。
自称名探偵だもん。きっとエリカはやってくれる。探偵ですらない人間風情に打ち破られたらバトラもベアとも最高にざまあないくらいに粉々。
それに万一エリカが負けても最悪のかけらにぶち込んで忘却の深夜。
そういう子。私たちはどっちに転んでも退屈し。
あんたってば本当に血も涙も。ま、そんな黒猫を雑巾のように絞って一滴だけ滴る雫を舐める時が私の至福なわけだけど。
ベアとのゲーム版でも散々遊ばせてもらってもう何も出てきやしないくらいに絞。このゲームもこれでおしまいなのよ。だから最後にふさわしくエリカ、バトラ互いの破滅をかけた一騎打ち。
ちえ 残念だわ。
とんでもない。十分にあんたに付き合わまた面白そうなゲーム版を。そしたらまた遊んであげる。
本当にあんたは私を飽きさせない。それでいいのよ、ベルンカステル。
I feel that. Unto Delta guaranteed that it was a perfect closed room. Bernkastel guaranteed that it was a perfect murder. A perfect closed room and murder. The witches hated Killjoy, so they haven't said anything with the red truth yet. Pursuing that was the role for Badler and Attica.